Today, Paris feels almost perfect. A city of romance, art, fashion, and endless beauty. Millions of people dream of visiting it at least once in their lives. The streets are filled with cafes, music, lights, and history. Every corner feels like a movie scene. It's known as the City of Love, a place where people come to fall in love, to chase dreams, and to experience one of the most beautiful cities on Earth. From the Eiffel Tower to the Louvre Museum, Paris became a global symbol of culture and elegance. Today, it attracts millions of tourists every single year. Chapter 1. Paris before the Tower. But in the 19th century, Paris was a completely different city. Noisy, dirty, overcrowded. Narrow streets packed with horse-drawn carriages. Smoke from factories and industrial buildings filled the air. In some neighborhoods, the buildings were packed so tightly that sunlight barely reached the ground. The streets were crowded with people from every social class. Workers, merchants, aristocrats, and travelers searching for a better life. Yet despite all its problems, Paris was already one of the most important cities in Europe. France wanted to prove to the world that it was still a global power, a nation of science, art, engineering, and progress. That's why in 1889, Paris prepared for a massive event, the World's Fair. It was something like a global technology exhibition. Countries from around the world arrived to showcase their inventions, innovations, weapons, engineering achievements, and visions of the future. It became a worldwide competition for attention, and France wanted to win. But it needed a symbol, something so massive, so unforgettable, that the entire world would talk about Paris. And that's when a man named Gustave Eiffel stepped in. Chapter 2. The Man Who Built the Impossible. Gustave Eiffel was not just an engineer. He thought in iron and steel. Bridges, structures, and engineering systems were not just his job, they were his language. He had already built massive iron bridges across Europe, structures that once seemed impossible. His company even contributed to the internal framework of the Statue of Liberty in New York. But all of that was only preparation. The real challenge was still ahead. The idea of the Eiffel Tower didn't come all at once. It started as a concept from two engineers working in Eiffel's company. Their proposal was shocking. Build a 300-meter iron tower. At the time, it sounded completely insane. Almost every building in the world was far shorter, and no one believed such a structure could withstand wind, weight, and pressure. But Eiffel saw something different. Not madness, but possibility. And from that moment, history began to change. Chapter 3. Paris in shock. When the project was first revealed, the reaction was immediate and intense. Parisian intellectuals exploded in outrage. Artists, writers, architects, almost everyone opposed it. They wrote public letters, signed petitions, and demanded the construction be stopped. To them, the tower was a disaster. They called it a giant iron smokestack, a monstrous structure, a disgrace to Paris. Some were convinced it would ruin the city's harmony forever. Imagine it, a city known for its elegant architecture, cathedrals, and palaces, and suddenly a giant iron structure rising into the sky. But despite all the criticism, Eiffel refused to back down. He trusted engineering. He trusted mathematics. And most importantly, he trusted his vision. In 1887, construction began, and no one yet realized they were witnessing the birth of a global icon. Chapter 4. The construction that changed history. What happened next felt almost unreal. The tower was assembled like a giant mechanical puzzle, over 18,000 metal parts, and more than 2.5 million rivets, each installed by hand. Every piece was manufactured separately, transported and assembled at the site. But the most incredible part? Precision. Almost everything was calculated manually. No computers, no software, no digital systems. Only paper, formulas, and human intelligence. Workers climbed extreme heights where a single mistake could be fatal. And yet construction continued, day after day, month after month. The structure slowly rose above Paris. At first, it looked strange. Then, it became impossible to ignore. And finally, it dominated the skyline. 2 years later, something incredible happened. Paris witnessed a 300-meter iron giant. At that time, it became the tallest structure in the world. Taller than cathedrals, taller than pyramids, taller than anything humanity had ever built. And the world stood still. Because for the first time in history, humanity realized something powerful. The impossible was possible. Chapter 6. The survival of the tower. And this is where Eiffel proved his true genius. He understood something simple. If the tower becomes useful, no one will destroy it. So he gave it purpose. Scientific research, weather studies, atmospheric experiments. But the real turning point came later. When it became clear that the tower was perfect for radio communication. During World War I, it played a crucial role in military transmissions. And that made it strategically essential. Destroying it would mean losing a vital communication tool. And that is what saved it, forever changing its fate. Chapter 7. War and Paris. During World War II, Paris fell under occupation. When German forces entered the city, it marked one of the darkest chapters in French history. According to legend, the French sabotaged the elevator system of the Eiffel Tower to prevent easy access to the top. And even when Adolf Hitler visited Paris, he never reached the summit. Later, as the war turned, orders were given to destroy Paris, including its most iconic landmark, the Eiffel Tower. But that order was never carried out, and Paris survived.
The Eiffel Tower was never a mistake. It was an idea first rejected by many, then understood. What once seemed strange became unforgettable. What was called ugly became a legend. What no one believed in became a symbol of a nation. Today it stands not as a question from the past, but as an answer to history. A reminder that greatness is not always seen at the beginning, but it always proves itself in the end. And a simple truth: sometimes the impossible just needs time to become real.
If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and let me know in the comments which countries or cities you'd like to see next.